Most probably you have heard of Starbucks coffee, and even tried their coffee before. However, China has their own coffee cafe that has even more stores than Starbucks in China. This is about how the business geniuses from China defraud the whole world, and how they manage to pick themselves up after the downfall. Now, fasten your seatbelt and we will start the engine. Luckin Coffee Inc. is a Chinese coffee company and coffeehouse chain. It was founded in Beijing in 2017. It all started with Charles Lu and Jenny Qian. Most of you might not be familiar with them. Charles Lu Zheng Yao is the founder of China's largest car rental company, Car Inc. To understand Luckin Coffee, one must understand how Charles Lu does his business. Charles started up Car Inc. in 2007, as he sees the opportunity in China's car market. Most of the car rental companies in China make their profits through margin between the cost of the vehicle and the rent amount. However, Charles did not want to be just another car rental company. He did so by cutting the price of their rental nearly 30 to 50% lower than their competitors. Fairly soon, he is able to expand his business throughout other states of the country quickly. And he is able to get majority of the market share. He endured for a few years and soon, most of his competitors closed down, as they were not able to compete with Car Inc. prices. Soon in 2014, Car Inc. was listed in Hong Kong Stock Exchange and it became the largest car rental company throughout China even up to now. After Car Incorporated was listed, Charles and his peers like Jenny Qian, a lieutenant of Charles, decided to disrupt the market of the coffee industry. And in 2017, Charles and Jenny founded Luckin Coffee, which set their eyes on Starbucks. Soon, when they started out, they spent heavily on advertisement and did the same strategy that they used during their days in Car Inc. First, they heavily subsidized on vouchers, coupons and discounts for the general public, which let them enjoy cheap coffee at a high standard. To make a simple comparison, a cup of coffee from Starbucks cost around 30 renminbi, and the cup of same coffee would cost only around 11 to 16 renminbi. Second, they knew that Starbucks is all about class, standards, decorations, and ambience. They did almost the same thing with Luckin Coffee, and they hired famous celebrities to endorse for their brand, and it makes having a cup of Luckin Coffee on hand is a luxury. Third, although they have high standards for their brand, their storefronts are much smaller. As they knew that almost half of the customers in Starbucks will not sit in the cafe for the coffee, and also, they do not want to attract customers that will sit in their cafe for hours just for a cup of coffee.
Because the company believes that more and more young Chinese will want to pick up their coffee and go or have it delivered as opposed to chilling out in a cafe.
Lastly, they tie up with the first strategy, which is in order to use the discounts, they will need you to download their app and be added into their WeChat group, and this proved to be vital for the later stage of their business. Soon, they expand quickly and gain massive market share through the price war and heavy advertisement. By the end of 2018, Luckin was able to raise a total of $400 million, with one of their most notable investors being Singapore's Sovereign Wealth Fund. With this influx of capital, Charles Lu was able to retaliate against Starbucks' partnership with Alibaba by forming a partnership with Alibaba's biggest rival, Tencent. Tencent is the owner of WeChat, which is a super app that is capable of doing everything from social media to mobile payments. WeChat is ubiquitous in China, boasting a total of 1.2 billion active monthly users. Luckin could easily advertise coupons and discounts and promote Luckin Coffee to basically the entirety of China through Tencent. This was a massive deal and got major investors excited. In April of 2019, for instance, Luckin raised $150 million, $125 million of which came from BlackRock. These investments were merely for Luckin to continue their strategy of giving heavy discounts and quick expansions. All these investors invest in the name of making more money from it. Not by selling coffee, but to profit through the general public, which is going to public IPO. In December 2019, it was reported that Luckin had 600 more stores than Starbucks and was listed in Nasdaq that same year. The company priced the shares at $17, and early demand caused the stock to briefly hit $25.96, giving it a market capitalization of nearly $6 billion at its peak. However, shortly after this, in April 2020, a US company named Muddy Waters did some checks and found out that Luckin wasn't so profitable like what its financial report says. It emerged that they had faked approximately 2.2 billion renminbi in 2019 sales, which is around 300 over million USD. This caused their stock prices to plummet and concluded with them being delisted from Nasdaq. Some might wonder how Muddy Water check on them. They hired investigators to go around their stalls to track the number of customers. They purchased the first coffee and see the number in their receipt, and the last cup of coffee to see how many customers have they sold to. They also did some digging on Luckin's suppliers and vendors and found out that most of it were companies related to Charles or Jenny. One example includes Qingdao Xixian Business Consulting Company that bought up to $134,000 worth of coffee vouchers in one order. The company made more than 100 similar purchases throughout the back half of 2019. Individual Luckin Coffee employees were also part of the scheme, which was traces back to before the company's May 2019 IPO. Employees used individual accounts of customers to buy vouchers for multiple cups of coffee. The employees fabricated the equivalent of $28 million to $42 million in sales. Soon, after the reports were released, Luckin admitted that they fabricated their sales report and delist from Nasdaq. Luckin Coffee plummeted over 97%, which wiped out basically every dollar invested into the company. Luckin went into bankruptcy, but with a huge asset, a vast network of busy stores. To many people, this seemed to be the end for Luckin Coffee. However, Luckin Coffee changed its CEO to Jeannie Guo, a former lieutenant of Charles Lu. With its meteoric rise ended, the company has promised to stop burning cash for growth, and raised prices in an effort to turn a profit with the business it has. Under new CEO Jeannie Guo, Luckin has actually rebounded fairly well over the past 2 years. By steadily growing its store count in a controlled manner, growing franchisees in lower-tier cities, innovating new beverage products, and raising prices, Luckin showed impressive growth and increased profitability. In the second quarter, Luckin grew revenue 72.4%, with same-store sales growth of 41.2%, and transacting customers up 69.6%. One might wonder, how did Luckin Coffee do it? They did so by 1. Fewer stores. To cut costs, Luckin also closed down about 609 of its self-operated stores, bringing the total from 4,507 to 3,898 at the end of November 2020. The chain is no longer bigger than Starbucks, but it remains a clear second. No other coffee chain has 1,000 stores. 2. Fewer staff. Existing stores are operated thinly to manage staffing costs. A 40-square-meter Luckin store in downtown Shanghai depends on only one staff member to handle more than 700 orders per day. 3rd. Franchise model. Luckin, which previously insisted on running its own stores, launched a franchise model in January. The company does not collect franchise fees from its partners, but becoming a Luckin franchisee requires an upfront investment of between 35,000 renminbi to 37,000 renminbi for storefront decoration, equipment, and a deposit. Luckin then takes up to 40% of the store's profits once it reaches an agreed earnings threshold, depending on the size of the store. 4th. Double down on existing users. Instead of spending heavily to acquire new users, Luckin focuses on getting value from regular customers, encouraging repurchasing by funneling them to a private user pool on social network tools, such as WeChat Work. Remember back in 2017 when they started, they already have a vast number of customers that join their WeChat group. They have their app to monitor customers' preference, and the company sends discounts and coupons to them for perks and benefits. The tactic, commonly known as private traffic, is a popular marketing tool in China for increased user intimacy with brands and improved consumer retention rate. Lastly, through their app and database, they knew majority of their customers are young adults who just graduated and started working. Thus, they come up with a wide variety of coffee with fun colors and tastes that suit their target customer base. This is an example of their new latte coffee. It is only a week in the market and they have sold over 2.2 million cups of this new latte. Wouldn't you want to take a picture to post it in your Instagram or a short video on your TikTok to show your friends how cool you are by enjoying a cup of Luckin Coffee? Yes, I understand that it is wrong to fabricate sales report and I would not condone to that. However, we are purely talking about business and entrepreneurship in this channel. They did many things right, which is their marketing strategy, their customer retention strategy, and their R&D to come up with different coffees to suit their customers. Remember, they are genuinely selling something, and for the vast majority of the customers, they just want to buy something that they want and is beneficial to them. Customers do not really care about the company's scandal as long as their products are really good. For example, if you are into Apple products, would you mind if the CEO is a gay or lesbian? This comeback from Luckin Coffee teaches us a valuable lesson of having good products and systems for your company. What are your thoughts on Luckin Coffee, and please share them in the comments section below. I hope you like my video and please help me out by subscribing to my channel and liking my videos. Your support would be greatly appreciated and would be motivational for me to make more videos like this.